All America, all the time. Sit down, buckle up, and get ready for The Dan Bongino Show.
I'm going to hit you with a lot before we even get to the first break in the show. You're never supposed to talk about formatics on the air. I don't care. This show is totally different. We throw out all the rules. It's worked for us, and we really don't care if it works or not. It's just my show. I'm going to do it as I want. That's just it. Number one, right out of the chute, Caroline Leavitt is leaving her position as press secretary. As I said yesterday, my humble opinion, for whatever it's worth, one of the best, if not the best, to ever have done the job. It's just my opinion. And it's not because of any kind of personal thing. I mean, I like her. It's not that. I'm just telling you, like, really effective. Even Politico Playbook acknowledged this morning, they're no huge fans of the Trump administration, that she was a really effective operator behind the scenes, too. Amazing. And I don't know how, not that, the age, man, but I'm 51, man. I'm still learning something. She's not even close to 51. I'll leave her age out of it. Not even close. I'm still learning stuff, like a lot. I only bring it up because nobody knows better than President Trump who should be that. He knows his people better than anyone. I'm telling you, guys, got his finger on the pulse. He does. He doesn't need my advice on it. I'm just going to throw a name out there I think would be fantastic for the job. I know her. I've watched her operate as a United States attorney. I've watched her ability to clearly get across a message. Alina Habba, I think, would be great. There are a ton of other people, too, but I think Alina Habba would be fantastic in this job. I mean, really an effective messenger to get it out, get the Trump message across. I bring up the Trump message because, again, I told you I was going to hit you with a lot in the first few minutes. We need someone like her who's clear, who's got a personal relationship with the president, can be comfortable telling him her thoughts on an issue without being, he's intimidating. It's not, he's the president of the United States. Any president is. They have a really good relationship. She would be, I think, fantastic. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the chat. I bring that up because I'm seeing this in a lot of the political, like trade papers, not a trade so much, but news articles, Playbook, Axios, and elsewhere. This constant complaint, have you guys seen it too, where a lot of Republicans running for office in the federal level, the Senate and the House in this cycle, are complaining like, well, we don't have a message to run on. What the are you talking about? Listen, I'm not here to throw fuel on the fire and cause like intra-party warfare like some of these other Folex MAGA people. I'm just telling you, like, are you shitting me? Like, stop complaining. You don't have a message? I'm going to get to that in a second. I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you. As a guy who ran in a deep blue district, no Republican had come within 15 points of winning ever and barely lost. Listen, fair and square, you lost whatever. I'm just telling you, like, we closed the gap because we were very clear in our messaging. You have a message right now. I'm going to help you out. And it is super clean. It's fact-based. And any one of these stories should rock anyone's boat on the left. Stop complaining. Get it done. Hey, you don't wait till your house is on fire to install a smoke detector, right? It's kind of late. You don't wait until after the wind and rain to hammer your windows and the power to go out to prepare for a hurricane. You do it all in advance. You don't reach for your seatbelt after the impact because after the crash, the hurricane, or the house fire, it's just too late. Similarly, you don't wait until the dollar goes to zero before you buy gold. It's too late then. Diversify with precious metals now, like I do, because you never know what will threaten your savings next. Persistent inflation, a weakening dollar, unexpected financial disruptions. You don't know what's coming, but you can take a preventative step. Do that right now by requesting a free info kit on gold from my friends at Birch Gold Group, BIRCH. It's really simple. Just text my name, Dan, D-A-N, to the number 989898. There's no cost. There's no obligation. Just straightforward information on how you can diversify your savings, even an IRA or 401k with gold. I buy gold from Birch Gold. I've trusted them, bought it many times. You can trust them too. Text Dan to 989898 for information today. Message and data rates apply. Thank you, Birch Gold. We appreciate it. Let's go. Ding, ding, ding. That's a hint. There we go. Little delay on the bell today. May have been a technical thing. I hope the quantum capacitor didn't break. I'm kidding. Here's your message, guys. This is not hard. I even told the guys, instead of running sequential headlines, can you just put it on the screen all at once? Here's your message. You want it? Republicans running who may be complaining about a message. Here it is. You ready? Write this down. Here's my pen. You can borrow it. Just kidding. Borders controlled. Crime is crushed. We're building stuff again. Just take that in a second. You got your pens? If I could transfer it through the screen, I would, digitally. Headlines from the White House. Manufacturing jobs flock to the United States, the U.S., thanks to President Trump's America First economic agenda. Crime plummets to another historic low under President Trump. Trump administration delivers 13 straight months of zero releases at the border. Justin, any one of these headlines is a political killer for the other side, correct? Those, yeah, right. He's like, oh, they're definitely third party. You can actually, like these results, you can look this stuff up. What do you mean you don't have a message? Maybe you're the problem. Again, I don't want to throw fuel on this fire. And it's always an anonymous Republican running for office complaining we don't have a message. Again, write this down. This will resonate all across America. Nobody wants open borders. Nobody wants to abolish ICE. Nobody wants crime in their neighborhood. And nobody wants manufacturing overseas, especially the manufacturing we're doing here. Super high tech. Write it down. Borders controlled. I wrote it down just so you don't forget. Crime's been crushed, and we're building stuff again. There you go. Stop complaining, man. That's a fact-based, reason-based analysis of where we are thanks to the Trump administration, the leadership of President Trump, and his agenda. I was there for it. Don't tell me it didn't happen. Reminds me of that Star Trek movie where the character played by that guy who was in Black Hawk Down. Don't say it didn't happen. I saw it happen. Don't tell me it didn't happen. Borders controlled, crime crushed, we're building stuff again. That's it. Really simple. The whining. And then you're running again. Not only do you have this absolutely killer message right now on the political front that, again, resonates all across the country. Blue states, red states, outside of the chop zone, this message resonates everywhere. You have never seen a year and a half of presidential leadership like you've just seen. And all they do is whine. Oh my gosh, we got no message. No, you're the problem, bro. Not only that, you're running against opponents who cannot distance themselves from a group of socialist freaking lunatics saying stuff that resonates nowhere outside of the chop zone. I think we need to abolish the Supreme Court, the presidency, ICE, prisons, the military. Nobody believes this outside of true psychopaths. You've been given the greatest foil of all time. You've been given a lustrous diamond. I don't know how to grade diamonds, but whatever the top grade is. Z+2, whatever the hell it is. Against the darkest background. It looks so lustrous. And you're complaining that's not shiny enough. What the? Folks, I titled the show today, When Did You Change Your Mind? Because the Democrat message we're running against is dark, macabre background on this diamond of a set of results. Those are real, those results. It's so bad that even Democrats who are self-avowed socialists, Democrats, socialists, same thing, it doesn't matter, commies, are running away from their own message. No. I'm giving you some homework here. Incorporate respectfully what I just said. You have the results to run on. Borders closed, crimes crushed, we're building stuff again. You have everybody thinks in threes. Remember Herman Cain, God rest his soul, 999. People think in threes. You can read on the psychology later. They think in threes. I didn't plan it that way, but they think it's an easy message. And your other goal is to make the other side unappealing. Here's the catch. It can't be any easier because the other side thinks it's unappealing, the Democrats, because they're all trying to walk away from woke 1.0. AOC laughing about, oh, woke 1.0 was crazy. Woke 2.0 is even crazier. Abolish Thanksgiving, cancel fireworks, abolish ICE, open the borders, defund the military, defund the police. You think woke 2.0 is an improvement? Ladies and gentlemen, woke 2.0, I may be aging myself, but some of you will get this in the chat, is Escape from LA with Kurt Russell. Some of you will get that, although I may be, I can see the guy, boomer, whatever, I'll take it on this one. Escape from New York, greatest movie ever. Escape from LA was like 10 years or so later, maybe even more. Worst movie ever in the history of movies. And I love Kurt Russell. I can't believe they made him surf in that movie. Just look it up. That's woke to, it's worse. It's actually not even a good analogy because Escape from New York was awesome. One of the best movies I've ever seen. I love it. Woke 1 sucked too. There are no backsies. I can't say this enough. You trade baseball cards when you were a kid. I don't know. Kids probably don't do that anymore. Maybe they do. I don't know. You make a bad trade. I gave you a Willie Randolph card, and you gave me Bobby Ojeda. I'm a Yankee. I want it back. No. There's no backsies. No backsies. No. Yes, no takesies, backsies. No, thank you, Justin. No backsies. Governor DeSantis down here in Florida brought this up the other day, and he's absolutely right. There are no trade backs. You're going to run on the message President Trump handed to you on a silver platter. Borders closed, crime's been crushed, we're building stuff again. And you're going to point out that the other side is so crazy, they don't even like their own message. And we're not letting them trade it back. We're going to put a bumper sticker on their forehead. Check this out.
People making the statements about abolishing prisons and abolishing the police. Oh, that was just woke 1. It was crazy. Like, really? Like, you just going to say that it was just a mulligan or something like that? Like, people were actually attacking law enforcement. They wanted to defund police. You did have candidates, and you still have candidates who talk about abolishing prisons, but you got swept up in that frenzy. You don't just get to say, "Oh, that was yesterday. Oh, let's just move on."
I said this on Fox, guys, 2 weeks ago. No backsies. No. Stop. Chapter 2 of the show. Serious time. We heartbreak. Folks, people died because of woke 1. No, people actually died. I'll talk to Sean Farish, who starts his show on Monday at 1 o'clock, rumble.com/Sean. He's our guest today, about this exact thing later. People died in the chop zone, couldn't render aid to people in the chop zone. They wouldn't let the police in. Buildings were burned down. People were jailed for surfing on the beach by themselves, not even like paddleboarding in the middle of the ocean during COVID. Who the F was going to give you COVID? Jaws? Is it even a shark disease? Can you look that up on ChatGPT? Can sharks get infected with COVID? This happened. Now you just want us to forget it? Mask mandates, cancel culture. Folks, look it up, man. I live this. YouTube wiped us off the map because I dared to tell you that cloth masks don't work. Look it up. I was called an election denier by Politico for questioning the 2020 mass mail-in ballot election when the New York Times themselves, 8 years earlier, had questioned the exact same thing. You can look those articles up. They're still there. Don't tell me I wasn't in it. My investments in Rumble and other free speech sites over and over to give people an avenue in the parallel economy. We live this. You have no idea. One of these days, I'll tell you the true story about this whole thing. How much, because I don't like making the show about me. It's about us, all of us. You have no idea the damage the only time I think I saw Paula ever really cry outside of a funeral was after like the third cancel culture bomb. I'm not talking about like they tried to push a sponsor off the show. Hit us. They tried to wipe us out. They put us in jail. And you think we're going to walk away from your crazy ideas? The governor's right. So's the president. And I saw the Wall Street Journal and others, and I love the Wall Street Journal. I read it every day. I don't have to agree with them on everything. I like their writers, okay? It's my choice. You can read whatever you like. I like to get a lot of diverse viewpoints from both sides to see what the other side is thinking, even people within our own tent. But I saw them attacking Trump in the op-ed column the other day, one of their writers, saying like, oh, I can't believe he's calling the left communist. What do you mean you can't believe it? They're self-avowed socialists, and their main party platform, big mainstream candidates, and politicians like Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are not in any way distancing themselves. There's just a fringe of people that are doing it. Carville, Van Jones, Bill Maher is not elected, but that's it. There's no mass movement to like purge the commies out of the party. Thank God the president's speaking the truth about it. Who else is going to warn people? Hold on, let me see it. Wow, oh my gosh. Showing you like we don't plan this stuff. Yes, can sharks get COVID? Apparently, sharks, no, see, maybe that guy, maybe they arrested him. They can get sharks have their own immune system and get various viral infections. Although, it notes, is this ChatGPT? You can't catch COVID from eating properly handled and cooked shark meat. That's good to know. Thank you. See, we're learning something new every day. You get my point. Even if the shark could give the guy, he wasn't even bit by a shark, and the shark's not breathing on the guy with the aerosol. That was a shocker. It's the best part of a live show. You get the live react from me. Folks, we're not going to forget any of that. Here's the crazy thing about this, though, is that Woke 2.0 that AOC is now running on, suggesting that it's somehow disparate and different from Woke 1.0. Woke 2.0 is crazier. Their new ideas are nutty. They're insane. They're still sticking to crazy Woke 1.0, like what we don't really know what a woman is. I mean, ESPN just wrote a whole article about this. The women's NBA, the WNBA, met apparently for hours trying to figure out what a woman is. And what happened, Justin? Did they figure it out? No. They still pretend to not know what a woman is. And you're telling me this is Woke 2.0? How do you think we're going to let this go? Really? No, we're not doing it. Here, you want to see another crazy idea? Justin, we love incorporating AI. Look, we're at the front, right? We're at the front line of technology. Tip of the spear, right, Andy? Shark spear again. If the shark was wearing a mask, would it stop COVID from being transmitted? He really has this. Hey, did ChatGPT give you the laughing emoji? Like, hit on it. Maybe this thing's super intelligent. If you meet a shark literally wearing a human-style mask, probably not very well. Listen, man, we're laughing and stuff, but guys, ladies, this is true. Wear a mask. Everybody who wore a mask got COVID. And idiots were still like, they're going to protect me against COVID. There are more crazy ideas. The guy running for governor in California, Javier Baccaria. I know his name. Joe Biden doesn't. Baccaria is running in California. This is one of the dumbest guys in the Democrat Party. Ask Susan Rice and others who there have been leaks behind the scene have said this guy's an idiot and they can't stand him. This guy is running for governor in one of the most important states, regions, anywhere in the entire world. It is California. It's the tech hub, the wine hub. There's a lot of manufacturing. There's even oil that goes on. You can't ignore California. It's in the United States, okay? Newsflash for leftists, okay? You are still subjected to the United States of America. You're one of them. This guy's running for governor. He has this great idea. Remember how I tell you all the time? Do you remember this? How the Democrats love bumper sticker slogans. There's nothing behind it. There's no reason. There's no analysis. There's nothing. It's just a bumper sticker. Rent control. How do you control rent? How do you do that? Is that ever gun control? How do you do that? How do you do? They love the sloganeering. Javier Baccaria has got an idea. It's probably one of the dumbest ideas you've ever heard. But it's the idea that we should make electricity in California free for 2 hours of the day when there's low demand. We should make it free. Now, when he says this, stupid liberals like seals are like, yeah, man. And he calls it, guys, the power hour. The power hour. What a cool bumper sticker. Check this idiot out.
I wanted to mention here an idea that I believe we can actually put into action within my first year. And it's what we're calling my power hour. I believe that we can say to Californians, maybe we start smaller, maybe with those who are lower income, for whom affording their electricity bill is really difficult. And we say, I'm going to offer you 2 hours of free electricity. How do I pay for that? Well, it just so happens that today we produce so much solar energy, electricity, that oftentimes in the afternoon, we can't make use of all of it. Why don't we use it? And why don't we do what we used to do back in the 90s, in the 20th century, we tell people, hey, please don't use your appliances during the late afternoon, evening hour, or afternoon hours, because we need to cover for all the air conditioners and the cost of trying to take care of a hot day. And so we used to tell people, wait, or do it very early in the morning. Well, today it's almost reversed. We have to rebalance. Today, we produce a lot of energy during the hot hours because the sun helps us produce solar energy. Take advantage of it. So the best way to get you to readapt, to recalibrate, is to tell you the best time for you to use electricity today, 1 to 3. And if you do that, I won't charge you.
Please, before I even go any further, please put Muttley's in the chat, preemptive Muttley's, before I've even explained. Dan is starting to sound like Muttley when he laughs. Giants for breakfast too in the chat. I know, it's not intentional. It's the weirdest thing. You ever notice like that thing, like you and like your wife, as you're married for decades, you start to talk the same way. Maybe not at home, but you start using this is what's happening. It's the weirdest thing. I am morphing into Muttley in live time because Muttley's in the chat. I can't take it. I can't take the stupid. You want to let the Democrats want to run away from this idea. So Baccaria, just to be clear, because solar power is inefficient and governments have made solar power, made them work by subsidizing them with taxpayer dollars, right? And made it work. And it still doesn't work to deliver power. You just said it. This isn't working. Solar, the sun's only out. So if it's not working, then why not just let the market take over and figure out a way to make it work? No, what we're going to do is, because government screwed up the whole power market and helped out solar when they shouldn't get it. They should compete like everyone else. Now what we do is we're going to give you a 2-hour window where the free power and you use it then. So this guy, what is it? David Hamadi on X had the best idea ever. I love this. This goes to show you how dumb. This is the unbroken leg fallacy I'll get to in a second. Government creates a distortion in the market, screws something up, and then to fix the distortion in the market, they introduce a new government rule like the power hour. Stupid ass bumper sticker from Baccaria. This guy, David Hamadi, who's an MD, PhD on X, he says anyone with half a brain or reading this post will go ahead and lease a Tesla Powerwall battery for $101 a month, set it to fill up with free power every day during the Baccaria power hour, and use that free stored power during the other 22 hours. It goes on. And you could just let the market figure this out, Thank you, David Hamadi, MD, PhD. This is a scam. And it's what's called the unbroken leg fallacy. The educational portion of today's show, here it is. If you don't know what this is, look it up. It is super important. I threw it in, Grok? I had said, Grok, what's the unbroken leg fallacy? It's this idea that government creates a problem. We are going to make sure people use solar. What if they don't want to use solar? Doesn't matter. Well, now it's not working. Okay, let's do some more government. The unbroken leg fallacy is an economic concept coined by Robert Higgs as a counterpart to Bastiat's well-known broken window fallacy. It criticizes a common presumption underlying government interventions, macro and micro, that market participants, you, in other words, are fully capable of acting more productively, like you could figure, but you can't, but you fail to do so because of market failure. You're too stupid, in other words. So the state must jump in to fix the problem because you are too dumb. This is a perfect example of the unbroken leg fallacy. You like that? Why? What would be the... Oh, you like that? He appreciates the formatting and the grammar and the capital. Thank you, Justin. I try. I know if I'm going to screenshot it, sometimes I just wing it and I send it quick, not thinking, but I do try to think this, especially with Grok. And sometimes Grok will actually tell you, like, it'll correct it for you in the answer. All right, listen, I got to take a quick break, but I want to show you something else, like this CNN interview that shows you exactly what I mean. Again, why we're not letting Woke 2.0, which is crazier than Woke 1.0, replace and just disappear the Democrats. No, it's not going away. It's not Casper the Friendly Ghost, okay? And we have a message. Borders shut, crime crushed, we're building stuff. That's your message. That's your message. Put it up against Bakary and his stupid-ass power hour. Elon, this is an opportunity. Brother, go out there, give a discount on the Tesla Powerwall. It's a great product, by the way. And there you go. The market will fix this idiot's problems, Baccaria, that they caused. Hey, we talk all the time about paying attention to what's happening around you, right? But you got to pay attention to what's happening inside your own body, too. A lot of men don't think about cholesterol until the numbers are right there on a lab report. Then suddenly, it matters. I love this product. Use it over and over. At a certain point, you look at your cabinet and think, thank you. You saw me looking? Thank you, Justin. That was very nice of you. This is actually my dose, this original dose I take after, if you have a night of, drinking some alcoholic beverage, love that. So dose is amazing, DOSE, been a customer for a long time. But at a certain point, you look at your cabinet and you think, when did this become my life? Another bottle, another capsule. It's one of the reasons Dose has an amazing product. Dose for cholesterol, DOSE. It works. Mine dropped like 30-something points. It's not another pill. It's a drinkable daily shot that tastes amazing. Dose for cholesterol is clinically backed to support triglycerides, LDL, HDL, and total cholesterol levels. It's a gentler alternative with ingredients you recognize: coenzyme Q10, ginger, pomegranate, and amla. New customers can save 35% on your first month of subscription. It's a big savings by going to dosedaily.co, dosedaily.co/Bongino, or entering code Bongino at checkout. That's dose, D-O-S-E, daily.co/Bongino. Try it out for 35% off your first month subscription. Great product. These statements of products have not been evaluated by the FDA. They're not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any diseases or condition. Thank you, Dose Daily. Check it out. Great product. Like I said, I was a customer for a long time. Today's show also brought to you by Byrna. I'm often asked the question, how do you help protect your family without taking a life? Well, there are options out there. The best option, I think, is Byrna, B-Y-R-N-A. I have a Byrna. They sent me one. I have a couple. Let me tell you, I trust it, love the product. Byrna's less than lethal launcher fires powerful kinetic and chemical rounds that can incapacitate an attacker for up to 30 minutes. That could give you enough time to get away and to call for help. Byrna, B-Y-R-N-A. Byrna has this new compact launcher. I have one. The guys have one. It's about the size of a smartphone. Really easy to carry, really easy to use. There's no background check required. The Byrna CL fires at up to 400 feet per second with some serious stopping power and was designed to help with de-escalation, not devastation. Byrna is proudly American, assembled in Fort Wayne, Indiana. More than 750,000 Byrna launchers are already in the hands of law enforcement and responsible citizens who want protection without tragedy. If you believe in being prepared, and you also believe in restraint, Byrna is for you. So go to Byrna, BYRNA.com and learn more. That's BYRNA, Byrna.com and learn more. Thank you, Byrna. We appreciate it. I want you to watch what I mean in this segment here, too. When I talk about how the woke 2, woke 1, all of this stuff is the same thing, and we're not going to let you, we're going to tattoo this on you. Governor DeSantis and President Trump, all of them are correct. You're not running away from it. We're going to call you what you are. And I don't care if the Wall Street Journal objects to it. President Trump, how dare you call these people commies? Because they are. They are. Sometimes you've got to really wake people up like Clockwork Orange style and be like, hey, look at what we're talking about. Even Reagan, who they love in the Wall Street Journal, was like, no pastels, big, bold, bright color differences. We're not doing pastels. Do you remember that? I do. He called out big government. Worst words in the government and in language. I'm from the government. I'm here to help. That was Reagan. What do you think? He was dancing around. Reagan didn't call out communism. Do you guys happen to remember? You may have been non-existent, but you see, Mr. Gorbachev tear down that wall. He didn't say, Mr. Gorbachev, can I ask you a question? Can you please slowly remove the mortar from a lot? No, that's not what he said. When people say stupid stuff, I got to get the cursing under control. We have some awesome news coming, and I promise that it involves Sean and everything else. I just don't want to tell you yet. It's not his show Monday on Rumble. It's different stuff. The empire's expanding, doomers and grifters. I know you're going to crap your diapers again going forward. I get so much joy out of it, I can't even tell you. You're just going to crap your diapers again as we continue to expand this little empire we're running here. But I want you to watch this CNN guest. She says like the craziest thing. She's talking about Mamdani in New York. Again, proto-commie, tip of the spear commie. Talking about how he ran on affordability and rents. New York rent is out of control. And yet I just showed you yesterday that New York rents are at an all-time high. So if you had any functioning neurons whatsoever, you'd be like, he ran on this. I'm going to control your rent. Your rents are now even worse. Sane people would be like, man, he really sucks. We're not dealing with sane people, and we're not letting them get away from their message. Watch the CNN guest. Perpetually confused. Check this out.
Very skilled marketer, which is why he got into the mayoral office in the first place, and he's continuing to do that. He's very good at the photo ops. But if you look at the numbers, those are telling a completely different story. Rents are at a new all-time high. So I think eventually the data and the reality of the policies he's implementing are going to catch up with him.
I do think, though, that there are New Yorkers who are happy with him, not because he's a member of the Democratic Socialist Party. They're happy with him because he was talking about affordability and addressing their top priorities. They're happy with him because he's following through on campaign promises. You look at filling potholes or fixing drinking fountains. These are things that New Yorkers care about.
He fixed one drinking fountain, and it's because somebody tagged him on Instagram to do that. A functioning government doesn't need somebody to be tagged on Instagram to fix something.
Thank you, Lydia Moynihan, by the way, who's the reasonable sound guest on the CNN panel. She does a great job with Scott Jennings there all the time. We're proud of Mamdani now because some rando on Instagram said, hey, my water fountain's broken. And Mamdani, in what was clearly a photo op, who could be dealing with big issues in the city, crime, the budget, union contracts that are falling apart. Mamdani says, hey, bring a photographer so I can go waste my time and pretend to fix a water fountain. And you're celebrating this while rents explode, while he's still attacking the police at any opportunity he can. I mean, are we for real? And Republicans, we don't have a message. Borders closed, crime crushed, we're building stuff. There's your message, bro. What's their message? We're fixing a water fountain, wasting thousands and thousands of taxpayer dollars on an NYPD security detail. So the mayor who makes, I don't know, 200, 300, who the hell knows what he makes, can go out there and pretend to fix a water fountain. The guy's never had a job in his life. Wasn't he like a rapper? What the F does he know about water fountains? The answer is nothing. He knows nothing. Zero. Gosh, I'm tired of this stupid. All right, this is an important segment. Again, lift and shift, chapter 3 of the show, but this is important. We got to have a hard conversation here. This show does not duck hard conversations. I didn't duck hard conversations either during my time at the FBI. Not everybody liked the answers, but I was always going to tell you the truth. Always. I promise you. You know, I had this argument the other day with someone I was chatting with who's on the other side who called me about something totally different. It's easy to tell people the easy thing. It's not always easy to tell people the right thing. And that's why this show for 10 years has always had an audience. Hey, Jasmine, did you see the numbers? You proud or what? There she is. I told you all, this show succeeded for 10 years. My team here today. We are dealing with the most headwinds today we have ever dealt with on our show. And I said, if we hit certain numbers today on the thing, I said, I'll be really proud of the whole team. We're already past. The show's not even like close to over. So thank you, Bongino Army, for always being there. And the reason you're here is I tell you the truth, even when it's not what you want to hear. I want to play this cut, and you'll see what I mean. I'm not doing bumper stickers. We're going to have some tough talk here. This is Bud Cummins on was it Real America Voice America? He's a former U.S. attorney, and this is a really interesting 30, 40 seconds. He's talking about the FBI, and the gist of what he's saying, the core of it is, hey, man, these recent transparency efforts by Cash and others in the administration, and John Solomon too, he's done an amazing job, to get out all of the scandals, to show you everything, all the warts that happened. if this is going to happen, maybe we should just abolish the place. Okay, well, let's talk about it. You may think you know what I'm going to say. You don't. I want you to listen to this cut first. It's really important. Check this out.
They were unintelligent, they were untrained, they were unqualified, or they were unethical and they were unlawful. There's no really other option here. And so how in the world, these were included some of the top leaders at the Federal Bureau of Investigation. How can that happen? How can that possibly happen? And this is not hyperbolic. I would rather not have a Federal Bureau of Investigation if we can't figure out a way to stop that from happening because we give them way too much power to ruin the lives of American citizens, to allow them to be led in such an incredibly unethical way.
That's a powerful word.
They are powerful. And you know what I'm going to tell you? I'll bet to my people who don't know me, but detractors, they don't like me because I don't engage in their nonsense and I don't do like psyops online. You know what I'm talking about. They probably think I'm going to say, well, that's a crazy idea. I'm not. What? You worked there. What do you mean? It's not a crazy idea. Bud Cummins makes a really good point. What's the greater risk? If this is just going to be what happens going forward, that every time power changes hands, there's going to be weaponized use of the FBI and the Department of Justice to just imprison people for political beliefs, I'd rather not have one at all. It's not crazy. It's not crazy. The damage that was done by James Comey, and I would add Christopher Wray, the prior leadership of the FBI, you know all the names, you've heard them all before, Stroke, Page, others, is when I say incalculable, I mean it's not, you can't put it on a spreadsheet. That's why I'd say to people all the time, there was no trust me, bro. I love when people say, when we give you actual, no one's asking you to try, I just produced you numbers of what we did. I want to tell you what we did first to change that culture. But then I want to tell you why, again, this is going to be a painful, very difficult, but absolutely necessary conversation. Bud Cummins isn't crazy, and neither is John Solomon, saying those are powerful words. Just quickly, because again, I don't want to, but it's your FBI. Under the president's leadership, Cash, and me on the ground, a couple of things we did. We reorganized the whole place. We wiped out basically entire divisions that we thought were acting inappropriately and reorganized the entire. Matter of fact, we reorganized it so much that they had phone trees. We had to deactivate whole phone trees because their positions didn't even exist anymore. I'm not making that up. I had a guy, these are all gone. We got to start over on the whole phone tree thing, whatever. We reorganized the entire place. These are facts. These are not opinions. The leadership changes, I'm not sure what the numbers, but probably less than 10% of the special agents in charge of the offices around the globe, I would argue probably less than 10% are still there. Some people just didn't like the new direction of the FBI and left. Some were let go. A lot of them were let go. The leadership's just not there anymore. 10% of the workforce turned over. I think it was a year after we got there. Many were fired. Many left. Some were suspended. But again, these are just facts because they did not like the new direction of the FBI, which was crazy. Like, let's get back to doing like crime and counterterror and not like weaponization. Entire squads were dismantled. It was a Washington field office squad. It was a total mess. It was clearly being used for weaponization efforts. The squad's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. Many of those people were let go. Some people left. The case management for sensitive cases, everything was done with Cash. I don't want to think to, but as the deputy, I had to sign off on sensitive cases. Anything that involved media, politicians. There are now new guardrails. If you are going to investigate one of these people, there are extra steps you have to do now. Because I just didn't want them, willy-nilly, I hate that word, but opening up cases against politicians and others. There were new guardrails. FISA reforms. It's probably something you haven't heard about. I am a huge civil libertarian, so is Cash. We had a lot of objections within the FBI. We added internal guardrails to use FISA to spy on people. We did. It wasn't popular at all. I'm telling you, the FBI hated it. We didn't care. We did it anyway. We didn't have to do it. We did it anyway because it mattered. Just a couple more. We added millions of dollars to FOIA. The FOIA department, where you can go FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, it was terrible. The administrative processes were terrible. The feedback loops were terrible. We added tons of money. It's going to take a little time to clean that whole process up, but we're almost there to make sure you get the information you need. Again, these are all facts. There are unprecedented disclosures, things that have been hidden for years. Crossfire, Round River, all of it. We knew it was going to look bad. It didn't matter. It wasn't our job to make anything look good. It was our job for you to see what happened. The transparency engaged in by Kash to get you this information, working with John and the administration, is unprecedented. There's never been anything like it by any measure. Pages released. And finally, case management. There used to be a way to hide files. It's a long story. That's gone now. There's a whole new system. You can still hide files from, if you have like a source or something, but you can't do it the way you used to make things go away. So that's not trust me, bro. That's what happened. Having said that, then why are you still concerned? Because let's ask a few questions. Folks, all this stuff we did is for naught. I'm sorry, I wrote this because I don't want to, this is such an important conversation. Will any of these guardrails, work if new leaders come in and just change everything? If Kamala Harris or AOC is elected president, God forbid, in 2.5 years, what's to stop them from coming in and reversing every single thing? The answer, folks, I wrote it down here. We're about to find out. That's why I don't dismiss Bud Cummins. That's crazy. No, it's not crazy. We're about to find out. Now, once these changes and all this stuff is dismantled, FOIA, case management, SIM cases, public corruption cases, when those guardrails are pulled down, it'll leak to the media. It'll be politically painful, but I don't think they care. So yeah, these are serious questions. Question 2. If these guardrails don't work and are pulled down, is there another option for oversight? I think there is. I've told many members of Congress it is imperative upon them in a separate branch of government. The FBI obviously falls under the executive branch, the presidency. The legislative branch has to be more vigorous in their oversight of the FBI. They have to. There's nothing we liked more than getting letters about, hey, we want to see this. Good, that's your job. I wish some of it wouldn't leak out because some of it's ongoing. However, it has to be done. You cannot rely on the executive branch to police itself because it could be led by someone like AOC. Just a couple more points, and I got some other things I want to get to that are really important, including Sean Farish. Folks, we can't just casually dismiss the other side either. We can't just say, yeah, just abolish it. Well, you can. However, there are things that us as rational thinkers who don't think in bumper sticker politics, and I don't dismiss the idea, what are we going to do with the counterterrorism and the counterintelligence mission? You say, well, we could put it elsewhere. Well, doesn't that just create the problem elsewhere? Because it was the counterintelligence mission that was weaponized to go after President Trump. You think like they put it elsewhere, like different people under a Democrat administration are going to just go, oh no, it's not the FBI, it's the ABC. What do we do with the mission? What do you do with the expertise? There are people who've been working legitimate. The FBI does a pretty damn good job on CT. The CI mission was a train wreck. We've got it cleaned up for now. The counterintelligence, spy catching basically. Couldn't go right back to crazy though. But what do you do with the operators who've been working a source in Yemen, whatever, for 10 years, who's been giving them valuable intel that may have stopped 10 or 20 terror attacks? This is real. Like I'm not giving up any, I just threw Yemen out there, but there are things like this. Do you just cancel them and fire them? What if there's a terror attack and babies and grandmas die? We have to think about this stuff. We're not the left. We're not Javier Baccaria. Power hour, bumper sticker, dumbass shit. Kurt Russell surfing on the wave in LA. That's not us. I don't have an easy solution for that. I know I'm here to guide you. I don't have an easy solution for that. If we just transfer it somewhere else, the somewhere else could become corrupted too. Finally, one last thing. I already mentioned it, so I'll make it quick. The best we can do is the guardrails and the changes we made, I just laid out for you, is to create real headline risk for the next administration. Create some stronger congressional oversight, strong, like ironclad congressional oversight, and make it so if they change it and say, we're not doing FOIA anymore, we're going to return counterintelligence to weaponize. We're bringing back all these squads that went after President Trump. All right, then we're going to at least write about it and expose it. Not the easiest answer, certainly not the best answer, maybe not even a good answer. But it's a serious conversation we got to have. Folks, that's the thing I really enjoy about being in the conservative movement. You have to give people a lot of difficult, not easy, but right answers. The right answer here is the right answer here is shocking. There's no right answer. This is something we're going to have to, as a group of people, I'm not in charge. Yeah, you were. No, even when I was the deputy, I'm not in charge by myself. I worked for the president, who appointed an attorney general, there's DAG, the deputy attorney general that supervises the FBI. I was underneath Cash. It's not just me. We all have to decide collectively how we want to move forward. Is it worth the risk? We're all going to find out. I say that because one of the things I bring up on the show all the time, and folks, this is a conversation I get my balls kicked in every single time I bring it up. But if lawmakers would have listened to me 10 years ago, audience archivist Judy, can you find out for me, there's no bigger P1, she knows everything, the earliest show I've ever done where I mentioned the Social Security problem, I'm sure it's got to be 10 years old. I have been warning people for years. Let me just stipulate some points so you don't yell at me, because I always get nasty emails. Seniors out there, you did pay in. You did earn that money. 100% correct. No one's disputing it. All I'm telling you with this segment is for the last 50 years, the government stole your money that you did earn for benefits they promised you after you earned the money. They stole the money and spent it. That's all I'm telling you. There is nothing in the lockbox. It's not a cash fund. It is just IOUs they've already spent. Okay? Always protect your Jimmy. Still sit or kneel. I'm trying. But Lynn and Jeff, always there. Glad you're staying healthy, Dan. Thank you. Thank you. Dan just drank the Fresca. That's not the Fresca. It's the Modern Life DDW. But the Fresca, that's another one. We still got the Fresca can back here. I'm just the messenger giving you non-bumper sticker power hour politics. If we don't fix Social Security now, there is no money by 2032. That doesn't sound far away, Dan. Sounds like less than a decade. Yes. Now, if you would have listened to me 10 years ago, lawmakers, we wouldn't be in this hole. Here's the craziest thing. I'm sitting home yesterday. I really mean it. I read this article in the Wall Street Journal. I almost fell over. I was outside with Lucy, who ate another freaking lizard. By the way, vets out there, is that bad? She's now not just attacking, she's now eating them. She didn't throw up or anything, so I thought she was, any vets in the chat? She's, Florida. A couple lizards in Florida, Justin? Just a couple. I have thousands of lizards in my house. They crap all over the freaking place. There's lizards in here all the time, too. If you're not comfortable with lizards, don't move to Florida. I'm outside with Lucy. I almost fell over when I read this. This is a real headline at the Wall Street Journal. I love Sternberg's pieces. Is Congress about to reform Social Security? What? I thought that was the third rail. Don't touch it. Just let it fail. Finally, after me screaming for 10 years and others, the thing's going bankrupt. Finally, Congress is like, hey, Houston, we got a problem. They note this. This is Sternberg's piece. Under current law, the programs have exhausted their current trust funds. Thank you. I've been saying this for 10 years. Benefits would fall to match current revenue from the payroll tax when that happens. That would require, by law, an estimated 22% cut in benefits overnight for retirees. I'm just telling you the problem. Overnight, 20% of your benefits, gone. Sternberg notes, should it happen, it would constitute what's known in technical political science jargon as a, quote, disaster for anyone unfortunate enough to be serving in Congress at the time. Folks, we're less than 10 years away from a by law mandated cut in Social Security benefits because the trust fund is done. I'm just giving you the facts. There are 1,000 ways to fix this thing. Means testing, the next generation of benefits. Justin told me something interesting. Obviously, we were born in different cohorts. I'm 51. Justin's 18. He's not. I'm kidding. It's a joke. He's young, though. Justin said, hey, Dan, no one in my generation is even expecting Social Security anymore. Well, I don't know if that's true or not. I certainly don't speak for everyone, and he doesn't either. But if that's the case, then why not reform it now? We can't touch what happened where you can't. It's politically untenable. And by the way, the seniors working now, they did earn it. It was their money. Promises were made to them. It's not their fault. What? You said that, Guy? Oh, Guy said it. Sorry. Guy's like, this is show stolen valor. Like, how dare you? Sorry. I credit to Guy. But Justin was thinking it too. I'm just telling you, man, we either fix it now or we're screwed. Why? Because, folks, there are a lot of ops going on, always. You know about the psyops. You know, the Jews suck, the evangelicals suck, the Protestants suck, the data center is going to kill you. It's draining Niagara Falls. Folks, I'm not, the gloves, the death gloves with the shock gloves, they were whipping people. Like, these are all viable things to talk about. I don't want to hear the op, okay? I just want to hear reasonable people debate issues. I don't do power hour, Baccaria, bumper sticker shit. We can fix this. The way we can fix it is growth. Shocker. It's the only way out. You are living right now in the golden age of American politics. Borders closed, crime crushed, manufacturing exploding. You have the ability with artificial intelligence right now going forward to live in basically the electrification of the economy during the industrial revolution. Growth could grow to 10% a year if we would just let people out there in the space use technology to enhance productivity from everyone, from the poorest to the richest American. They don't want it. It's the only way out. I'll give you an example. How are you going to fix Social Security? Well, first, I want you to just see the problem first. E.J. Antoni, you know we love him. Follow him on X. Put up this post on X. Do you understand how bad the government debt problem is at $40 trillion in debt? Let me put it in perspective for you. Put up that tweet. 56 cents of every dollar is now being spent. Even worse. 56 cents of every dollar the government spent last month was borrowed. 56 cents. Is that more than half? I'm not a math major. It is, right? I think so. 56 of every dollar was borrowed. We have to pay interest on that, folks. When you're paying interest on 40 trillion, here's the chart for you if you think we're making it up. That's a lot of money. The interest your tax dollars are paying now on debt your government is taking out to spend money it does not have is one of the top 3 or 4 budget items in the budget. Wait, what? Yes. You wonder where your Social Security payments are going? Interest on the debt. Why your military isn't funded sometimes? Interest on the debt. Why Medicare, Medicaid are going bankrupt? Interest on the debt. Now we can grow out of this 10, 20% growth. You know, if you had a household that was $100,000 in debt, making $100,000 a year, I'd call that trouble, right, Justin? However, if you're making $10 million a year, all of a sudden it doesn't look so bad. Folks, we can grow out of this. The way out of it, the only way out of it, is using this flourishing technology to make everyone from the HVAC guy to the finance bros, everybody seems to hate, wealthier so they can pay more taxes into the system as a percentage of their income and finally get these people made whole in Social Security and elsewhere. It's the only way. And I know what you're thinking. The Democrats are like, and the socialists who want to run away from their socialist woke one. No. Like, well, what about socialism as an option? We've tried that. We're spending ourselves into an abyss. I saw this morning. Now, I am not a fan of sovereign wealth funds. Government, let me just be clear. I'm not, because they subject themselves to political influence. But if you're going to have a sovereign wealth fund, what do we hear from the Democrats all the time? You got to be more like Norway and Sweden. Meanwhile, Sweden's privatizing their economy because socialism sucks. I saw this story this morning that one of the biggest sovereign wealth funds in the world is Norway. The numbers are staggering. So I put this in ChatGPT. Tell me about Norway's sovereign wealth fund. Weird how they rely on capitalism for their sovereign wealth fund. Crazy, Justin. They got all this money from oil. Oh my gosh. Javier Baccaria told us about power hour and solar. At the end of 2025, this is from ChatGPT, the sovereign wealth fund was worth $2 trillion US, depending on exchange rates. It's one of the largest investment funds in the world. Norway's fund owns nearly 1.5% of all publicly listed equities in the world. Again, I'm not suggesting government infiltration. I'm just telling you the extent to which your heroes in these Democrat social rely on capitalism it's just ridiculous. Put up the other one. They got the money from oil. They discovered enormous North Sea oil reserves in the 60s, and they put it into a fund investing in the free market, not government, free market. The philosophy was oil, sell the oil, convert it to financial assets. Oh my gosh, preserve those assets for future Norwegians. Folks, the returns on this thing have been stunning. Again, I'm not telling you it's the best idea. I'm just telling you, giving you a balanced approach that even your heroes in Sweden and Norway are almost fully reliant on free markets to save them, not the socialism you claim is saving them. You can look this stuff up, you know. Maybe Baccaria can say, yes, you're correct. He could do the California investment and take all the tax dollars and invest it in like the free market, which has been exploding. He's too stupid. You want a message to run on, man? I'm going to give you a message to run on. There's always a message to run on, unlike all this other bullshit. Socialism, Democrats, socialism, bumper stickers, tolerance, coexist. I don't know what a woman is. I'm sorry you're too stupid to figure it out. From the famous now Nothing Is Happening file, I love to hear this stuff. Here are some more results to run on. You may hear more from President Trump and the FBI director today, Friday at 3 o'clock. President Trump's up in New York running with Bruce Blakeman, running for governor of New York. Great candidate, know him very well. Wish him the best. He's got a real shot up in New York. They're getting really pissed off at all this craziness. But Cash put out a post yesterday. I thought nothing was happening. This is what they tell us. We're going to have to add a third bookshelf to the Nothing Is Happening files. Things keep piling up. So the FBI is involved in summer heat too now. By the way, can I just tell you on a personal note to the Bongino Army, my entire 51 years on this planet, it's my proudest professional accomplishment in conjunction with Cash and obviously President Trump's leadership was Summer Heat 1. I managed that thing, and let me tell you, I'd never been prouder. The fact that we got all these dirtbags and shitheads off the street. They're in Summer Heat 2 now. Get a load of this just in 2 months. 4,000 arrests, 1,500 indictments, 2,500 recovered weapons, 3,300 kilos of coke seized, 3 Mexican mafia members convicted for murder, the arrest of the Rich Kings, a neighborhood-based street gang in Houston. With each arrest, we aim to make our streets a safer place. I hear people, no, we don't really care. No, people care, but you don't care about it because you're just a doomer. What about this one? You guys aren't going after left-wing operatives and all that stuff. It's not about left-wing. It's about corruption. Did you see this story from the Nothing Is Happening file about the SPLC? Again, nothing is happening. Nothing to do with anyone's politics. Everything to do with corruption. This is from CNN, by the way. Exclusive. A former employee of the SPLC has been arrested in California on charges she oversaw secret payments to informants inside of white supremacist groups. Everyone's innocent till proven guilty, folks, but stop telling me nothing is happening. The BLM arrests and investigation, the first Antifa prosecutions in U.S. history. You're just making it up because you're a doomer and you don't want the president to have a message or the Republicans to have a message going forward. I got a couple things to get to before I get to, but I want to end on kind of a high. Before I get to Sean, don't miss my interview with Sean Farris, show coming up on Monday, launching really important. Ladies and gentlemen, this is probably the funniest story I think I've seen in a long time. I am not exaggerating. This popped on my Wall Street Journal feed yesterday. Do you know Peggy Flanagan? She's a communist. She is running for the U.S. Senate in Minnesota, which is unbelievable. Lieutenant Governor under Walz, who's the worst governor in the country by far with all the fraud and all that crap. Okay. Peggy Flanagan is running as the first Native American on her campaign literature and emails, the first Native American woman to enter the U.S. Senate. Folks in the chat, are we sensing a disconnect? Josh, you see where this is going? Well, that's a problem, right? Because we already have a Native American female U.S. Senator on the Democrats, do we not? She actually invented powwow chow. Elizabeth Warren. She's already told us she's Native American. High cheekbones, my pawpaw. You guys remember that? Hey, you want up here? I'm good, honey. So Peggy Flanagan, are you guys going to get in like a UFC cage match for who was the first Native American woman? Thank you to James Freeman and the Wall Street Journal for pointing this out, which I missed. I'm not in Minnesota. I don't know, folks, but maybe we should set up like a Parcheesi game, whatever. Whoever wins gets to claim the mantle. I'm not sure. I thought Miss Powwow Chow was the first. Marley in the Speaking of a little humor, on Fridays, producer Jim, who we love, producer Jim puts together a moment of calm for you, always from the left wing side. Let me give a language alert advance. I haven't seen the clip. I don't. But every time they tell me there's no language in it, there's always language in it. This is your Democrat Zen, thanks to producer Jim, calming moment of the week on Friday so you can coast into the weekend with your cortisol levels really low. Democrat Zen moment of the day. Check it out.
Your Democrat Zen moment of the day. A peaceful moment to center your mind.
I just want people to like me. They don't because I'm trans. I just wish I was born as a cis woman. I can't because I was born as a fucking...
This has been Democrat Zen.
Again, by the way, guys, I want to note, folks in the chat, remember last week? By the way, Guy did last week's Democrat Zen. Larry the liberal, that is it's not fake. It's very funny. It's a joke. I knew I was right. I've been doing this. I think this one's a joke too. Yes, I need a thorough analysis from the audience. That last week, if you go look at Friday's show, I was right. And thank God, Andy too. Remember Andy too was here. I can't tell you who. Andy too saved us last week. Jasmine, we were right last week. Larry the liberal, that's a sarcasm. So you, me, and Andy too were right. My team was in fact wrong. I think that may be a scam too. We'll find out on Monday. You know about our contest? We love to give away money here. Why? Because you're just really awesome. And we love being around you. We love talking to you in a live chat. It's nothing better than a live show. The energy's totally different. We used to tape once in a while. Wouldn't you agree, guys? The energy's totally off. You got to be live with your audience. I don't like it. I'm live or nothing. The contest is called the 1776 Live Club. We give away once a week $1,776 to a comment of the day winner. If you want to see the official rules, go to Bongino.com/1776. Our comment of the day today is BT Jones 65. Holy 44K while Candace and Andrew go at it. I'm thinking the IGAFF crowd is larger than anyone thought. That is my favorite comment of the day so far. Do you guys know why? All right. I know I got to get to Sean. I know he's waiting. I do. I got to get to Sean. But I'm really proud of you guys. And I mean that to my team too. And Jasmine and Paula and everyone involved in this. Obviously, that's going on. I've chosen not to comment. Not that I can't. I just think that Mr. Robinson deserves a fair trial, and he deserves, like anyone else, his innocence until proven guilty. And sometimes I'll comment on cases. Sometimes I won't. I just think you want to hear it. That's fine. That's up to you. There's a lot of things I have to talk about, and I just think it's given my time there that extensive commentary on it. I can talk about stuff, but extensive commentary is probably not the best idea. The fact that I said to my team this morning, it's a Friday in the end of summer, people are still on vacation, the news cycle's slow, the Mangione thing is going on, the Murtaugh thing is going on live TV. I swear to you guys, I said to my team, we'll do a lot of VOD, video on demand later. I said, if we hit 40 live, I'll be stunned. We'd far surpass that. So we filled the stadium on a day with so much competition. If we would have hit 20, I would have been happy. So that's how much I love you guys. I really appreciate it. They don't know what that means? You want to tell them? I think it means, a D. Yeah. I don't give up. Yeah. I'm trying not to curse as much. It'll make sense more next week. I'll tease a little bit with Sean coming up next. Quick break. We'll get to Sean Farish. Hey, weight loss injections are everywhere. But here's a catch. About 15% of users quit because of the cost. Another 15% stop because of side effects. A while back, I wanted to drop some pounds too. I did. I was coming out of the cancer thing. I was eating way too much garbage food. It's the only thing I could keep down. I was about 238 pounds. So I wasn't really interested in injections and that type of stuff. And I said to Miles at Brickhouse Nutrition, real conversation. I said, hey man, you got anything in the pipeline? And he's like, yeah, I do. We're putting together this product called Lean. That's my bottle right there. Lean. Lean. Lean for lean. I took it. I dropped well over 30 pounds. This morning, I'm actually down to 192. So it's a lot. You can go look at the old Rumble photos, that big puffy face and everything. But I want to stay healthy and my joints were bothering me. I chose Lean from Brickhouse Nutrition. Here's why. Weight loss shots, they work by helping control blood sugar and appetite, so you eat less. There's no argument there. The shots can work for a lot of people. But Lean was doctor formulated to do similar things naturally. Worked for me. It works for Paula. It works for all of us. We keep it to maintain our weight. Lean helped tackle my hunger and helped support steady energy without constant cravings. Lean did something injections don't. It helped my body turn fat into energy, so I burn fat instead of storing it. My favorite part, Lean is a nutritional supplement. It's not an injection. There's no prescription. There's no needles. I lost weight with Lean. You can too. People call me, goes, that stuff work? Listen, I showed you it worked. You can see it. Go to brickhousenutrition.com/Dan. Use promo code Dan for 20% off. brickhousenutrition.com/Dan. Use promo code Dan for 20% off. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. Products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease, and it's not a substitute or alternative for care from a healthcare provider. Welcoming to the show, the latest addition to the Bongino Report media empire we're building here, an absolutely phenomenal talent. His show starts on Monday at rumble.com/Sean. If you want to check him out, please go sign up today, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday for the live show. Welcoming to the family, the great, the legend in live time, Sean Ferris. Sean, good to see you.
Dan, thank you so much. I'm so excited to start on Monday. It's a full circle moment for me, right? Sitting on the Tappan Zee Bridge many, many years ago, listening to you flipping out over Stefan Alper. And now we're going to be streaming on the Bongino Report and having so much fun blowing it up. We're going to do what we got to do here to advance the cause. And I'm super excited and honored to be given the opportunity. Can't wait to get started.
Sean, you really deserve it. And I'm very careful with who we bring in to the family here. Listen, I'm a free market guy. It's a business, but it's a passion for me. Obviously, I love activism just like you. You and I have been at actual events for candidates, helping them. We weren't, paid to do it or anything like that up in New York, in states I don't even live in, and you don't either anymore. So this is a passion project for us, but it is a business as well. And I'm very careful about who I bring on board because you don't want any toxic personalities. I want everyone to know that Sean, behind the scenes, just like Haley and Vince, is the exact same person. There's nothing different about him. He is just a genuine guy, and he's really busted his ass. And he's been guest hosting on radio now. When I got my start and people did this for me, I was guest hosting on Christmas morning. I mean that literally. On Christmas morning, I was guest hosting on WCBM, WMAL and elsewhere. You've definitely put in your time. We've got more announcements coming ahead about Sean, so stay tuned in the next week. But it's not easy doing that all the time, but you earned it, man.
No, it's not easy, but it's fun. And it's, I can equate it to batting practice, or just reps in the gym, whatever your favorite activity is. The more you do it, the more comfortable you are when you do it. I remember my first time filling in on radio. I was so nervous. I didn't even get up to go to the bathroom during the breaks. And for anyone who knows me, that's odd because that's 4 hours of me not, so it's just the whole running joke is hey, you don't stop doing that. So for 4 hours, I was just in the seat glued. I don't want to miss coming out of a break. I'm so comfortable doing it now. And it's so much fun. Whether it's guest hosting radio or guest hosting for your podcast or Vince's podcast or anybody, it's just, it's a lot of fun for me. But number one goal always is to advance the cause, right? Can we move the football down the field, even if it's just a yard or two at a time? I'm a Jets fan. I'm not used to seeing the offense move the football. So on the political side, I'd like to move the football. And what you've been doing for the last 10 plus years, well, you've been moving the ball quite a bit. You've been highly efficient at it. I'd love to be a part of that team. And I cannot wait. Not just to be able to stream, but the results. I want the results. I want to bring more people into the movement. I want to advance the cause. I want to see us putting up some wins electorally. That's always my goal. It's my goal when I was in New York. It's my goal now. So I want to make it happen. And super excited to be able to do it with you guys. It's awesome.
We're excited too. And I really appreciate your at-bats analogy. The more swings you get, the better your nervous system gets, the better the muscles get, the better the mind gets at being sharp on the air. And you mentioned the bathroom analogy. It's so funny you say that. Because I used to freak out whenever I used to guest host for shows and I would use the Comrex box because the Comrex box, I would say to the host at a station, I'd be like, well, what if the internet goes down? And they'd be like, it's not going to go down. It hasn't gone down in like 100 days. I'm like, that doesn't sound like a good percentage to me. You freak out about everything. Like you said, you don't even go to the bathroom. And then you do the show, and not to sound like an ass or anything, but you just get very relaxed on the air, and it becomes a conversation which both parties like. And then you're like showing up on a bathroom break with like a second to go while the liner's playing, right? And producer Jim is like, dude, where are you, bro? Where are you? I'm like, I've never missed 4 years on live radio. I never missed. I'm like, brother, he would get nervous, Sean, every single time. I would come back sometimes while the actual intro music was playing. He'd freak out.
Yeah, I've done that a few times. You know, sit in the seat, I hear the thing coming, I'm like, oh my God, headphones on, got to get ready. But you come back and you play it. Nothing happened. Nobody knows. You know,
Nobody
hey,
knows
welcome back
anything.
in. We're doing this. But at behind the scenes, you're sweating bullets, right? There's a puddle under the seat. You're sweating so bad. But it's it's fun. The stories are great. And again, like you said, many people have said it before. It's the at-bats. It's the reps. It's the more you do something, the more comfortable you are doing it. So, I mean, it's been a few years. I've been doing it for a few years. And again, just excited about what we've got coming next and you know, what's happening on Monday, this launch of Sean Farish Live. It's going to be, I think we're going to have a bunch of fun at 1:00 in the afternoon. And I encourage everybody to give it a shot. You know, it's probably for you. It might not be for everybody. I've heard you say the same thing about your show. Like, hey, if you don't like this, it's not for you.
Yeah, that's okay.
I say it's not for everybody, but it is for anybody. Anybody can come in and listen and see if it's for you. Try it out. I think you'll like it.
Yeah, I know you will. 1 p.m. rumble.com/Sean, SHAWN on Monday. Don't miss it. You can only catch the first show live one time. You miss it, you miss. You can watch it VOD, but that's it. Let's get to some news of the day. The press secretary, probably I'd make a strong case. I mean, it's a subjective opinion, but I could probably make a pretty strong case. One of the top 5 most powerful positions, not just in the executive branch, but in the world. I mean, you were effectively the forward-facing messaging mechanism for the President of the United States, unquestionably the most powerful man in the world by any objective measure. Caroline Leavitt, I think it's obviously unanimous, did an absolutely amazing job. Well-prepared, quick on her feet, understood the back and forth with the press, had a behind-the-scenes relationship that was a little bit different when they were getting the facts wrong. I even saw it in Playbook this morning, Politico Playbook. They don't even like the administration. And they were like, hey, behind the scenes, she knew how to work a story. That's her job. Her job is to catch a story, catch false components of it. So that's great. But you had an idea that, which I fully support, that which would impact my business, but I'm okay with it. You get a 1-day contract dispensation to go and be the press secretary for a day. I'm fully on board with this. But the caveat is, buyer beware, Sean has to do it in his Donald Trump voice. And preferably, I would add, with the Donald Trump wig on as well. I think that would be an amazing idea.
I could go with the wig. I could go with the wig. I may have to turn my cap around for a day. That'll be all right. As much as it hurts, but it's okay. And I think press secretary for a day is brilliant. Well, nobody would do a better job, right? Think about it. I would love to call Caitlin Collins a stupid person, right? And we say stupid is a choice, and she chooses to be stupid every single day. She wakes up and chooses stupid every single day. And she looks like Dylan Mulvaney, which you're not supposed to say. They say to me, sir, you're not supposed to say that. Second to me, though, I want to nominate Donald Trump's alter ego, who I like to refer to as Donna J. Trump, right? This is trans Trump, right? So he will run for a third term. We're nominating Donna Juliet Trump. She's a beautiful person. She's fabulous. We're going to make America fabulous again. And
if you can change your identity, correct, right? And it would be a different person altogether. That's a great idea. I love that.
Who is anybody else to say he can't do that? If Dylan Mulvaney can do it, if William Thomas can do it, if Sarah, quote unquote, Timothy McBride can do it, then Donald Trump should identify as Donna and run for president. His hair gets a little longer. Maybe he's got to put something in his shirt. I don't know, kind of lean into the body type a little bit, but that's
Kleenex.
Fine.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with
Donna
that.
can be the press secretary, and she's going to do a fantastic job too. She's also the WNBA MVP. She's a lean, mean, rebounding machine. Think about it.
I think an 80-year-old Donna Trump actually would do pretty well in the WNBA.
I think so.
Even though I don't think Donald Trump plays basketball per se.
No, but neither does Angel Reese.
Yeah, that's true. If you ever see some of the highlight videos on Brick City on X, Have you ever seen a worse basketball player at any professional level at all? I'm talking about Euro NBA, like NBA, WNBA, whatever, CBA, college, they're getting paid now at NIL. Have you ever seen a more incompetent player? I love the video at her dribbling where she dribbles and passes it to her other hand without it hitting the floor. That's not dribbling. She is the worst basketball player I have ever seen in my life at that level.
And that's what I'm saying. Donna Trump, I think, would be the MVP because if she's considered good at that level, I mean, she gives me a run for my money. I'm awful at basketball. Okay. I'm like so bad. I played one time. I got a rebound that came down on someone's foot, rolled my ankle. It blew up the size of a tangerine. I said, never again. We're not doing this ever again. I'll stick to baseball. We'll do a little, pick up football, maybe a little hockey on the, not on skates. I can't do the skates thing. But you look at Angel Reese and some of these clowns in the WNBA, which by the way, now they're meeting for weeks to months to figure out what a woman is. I mean, you could ask a kindergartner and he'll tell you in 5 minutes he knows the difference. But they're meeting for weeks to months. But yeah, if Angel Reese is allowed in the WNBA to play what she's allegedly calling basketball, then there's no reason why an 80-year-old Donna Trump won't be the MVP. When we have to use the preferred pronouns, she joins the WNBA, she'll do a little bit in the WNBA, and then she'll be the next president. Who are they to say he can't do that? It's their rules.
Listen, you and I laugh about a lot of. Obviously, Sean's very funny. I prefer hosts who get the edutainment model down, educational entertainment. You want to be entertained too, and Sean's very funny. But it kind of brings me to a point. I told you earlier as we were chatting, I can't leave this interview without bringing up a very serious point. There's no backsies here. Like, you can pretend you don't know what a woman is in the WNBA, or if you're a Supreme Court justice like Ketanji Brown Jackson, who pretended not to know what a woman is. They're obviously pretending. These people aren't stupid. They're running a business. However, AOC led the way recently. They're trying to do, what we call in politics, the pivot. Now that primary season is almost over, we still got Florida and others, but almost over. You're seeing the crazy Democrats defund the police, abolish ICE, defund the military. What is a woman? All the stupid, crazy. We could go abolish the Senate. You get the whole drift of it. Now you're seeing them pivot. Oh, we didn't really mean that stuff. AOC laughing about it. Woke one was crazy. No, there are no backsies. There were no trade backs. Sean, this was serious stuff. People died. Businesses were looted during the Floyd riots. We were told rioting's no problem, but God forbid you go to church in COVID. This was the same cycle. You won't get infected if you riot. The virus doesn't infect rioters. I mean, this was the kind of stupid. The chop zone, the person was murdered in the chop zone in Seattle. There are no trade backs. We, the Republican Party, the MAGA movement, the libertarians, whoever, is inside this tent and wants to be, we better bumper sticker this on their forehead and never let it go. No trade backs.
No trade backs. There's no such thing as woke one and woke two. First of all, if you're going to say woke one and woke two, can you tell me the difference? Because I would love to know how woke two is worse. Is different. It is worse. This is the canceled Thanksgiving. This is the Abdul al-Sayed, America deserved 9/11. You had Francesca Hong saying, well, Thanksgiving is a painful time for some people. I've never experienced anyone that has been in pain other than maybe you ate too much. Guys, there's a little bit of pain there, but like I don't sit there on Thanksgiving and be like, oh man, I need to repent because of stolen land, which by the way, they'll never give the land back. I'm lactose intolerant,
Sean, and one time my mom put some like half and half into mashed potatoes, and I was like, that's the only time I was hurting on Thanksgiving. Other than that, it's been a joyous weekend. Like, you're absolutely right. Like, I don't know whoever goes to a Thanksgiving dinner. I'm in so much pain. Let's make this. You know what they need? I just thought of this. Sorry, man. I hate to interrupt everything, especially when you're on a roll. But this, you made me think of something. You remember Festivus? You ever watch Seinfeld? The woke two needs like an alternate Thanksgiving holiday, like a Thanksgiving Festivus for the rest of us. Air your grievances, get the Thanksgiving poll. They don't have feats of strength because they're all wusses anyway, like Larry O'Donnell, right. Larry from yesterday, if you missed that show. But don't you think that'd be a great idea? Like, they need an alternate Thanksgiving, like grievance giving, where all they do is give each other grievances and they can hang around the grievance poll. That's an idea.
That's what they should do. They should get around a table, be miserable with each other, talk about all the bad things. By the way, do nothing to fix it. Remember Billie Eilish? Oh, stolen land. The house is on stolen land. She still lives there, right? So it's like, Ben and Jerry's too, a couple of years ago, we're not celebrating the 4th of July. Their headquarters in Vermont is on some tribal land, and they're like, no, we're not giving it back. They never live by their own rules. We talk about that all the time. The left never passes their own tests. When you look at woke 1 or woke 2 or whatever, down the road, woke 3, you mentioned somebody died in the chop zone. Horace Lorenzo Anderson Jr., 19-year-old guy, shot. He was bleeding out. Emergency services couldn't get there in time because Antifa decided we don't want you here. So he died. By the way, he's black. We don't hear that from Black Lives Matter. We don't hear them saying his name. We're the only ones who are still saying this poor guy's name. It's an injustice what happened. Buildings burning down. Bizarre rules. I was in New York during COVID. You had Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York, saying you could not order alcohol without ordering food at a bar. But buffalo wings didn't count as food, but soup did. So soup was food. Buffalo wings was not food. In the name of science, the same science that was apparently used to determine to put sick people in nursing homes. Like, this is woke 1. There is no, we're going to absolve you of all that. No, you put the country through hell with all this stuff. You made businesses have to comply with DEI requirements and the Human Rights Council and all this. Hire this person because of their skin color, not because of their qualifications. You put Dylan Mulvaney on the face of a beer can and tanked an entire brand. You had Cracker Barrel decide that something that has worked for years, they had to bend over and fix. You whitewashed the supermarket, right? All the people of color were taken off of the brands in the name of what? Ending racism? Well, now there's only white people on the brands. You took the Indian off of the Land O'Lakes thing. You really literally removed the Indian and kept the land. I thought you're not supposed to do that. So this is what woke 1 was. And they want to say, give us a pass. No, nobody should forget or give them a pass for what they did. And by the way, woke 2 is worse when you're dealing with now people who are campaigning with folks saying we deserve 9/11. No, thank you. Not interested in woke 1 or woke 2 or woke 3 or any woke. Just get rid of all of it and leave us the hell alone. That's what I say.
That's such a good point about the Land O'Lakes. I'm going to tell you something I probably shouldn't say, but when you say that, but this one, it just makes me laugh. We had this kid in the neighborhood growing up in Glendale, Queens, and this kid was like a lunatic. He was the only kid I ever know who got left back twice. Like, how do you get left back twice? That's not even possible. I mean, The guy was like 2 grades behind, not 1. I remember because a friend of mine, sent me a picture just recently I grew up with and was like, how is this dude, call him Joey Bag of Donuts, in our pictures twice? Wasn't he like 2 years older than us? I'm like, you remember he got left back? He's like, no. I'm like, yes, that's a guy. But this kid once took the Land O'Lakes sticker off the butter thing, whatever it was, of the Indian woman. And if you fold it in the right spot and fold the kneeling up, it's quite an interesting image. Don't try it at home. I'm just telling you, like this kid would go, oh, look at this. That's what I just remember that from it. It's just like crazy childhood memories from Queens. This kid was such a lunatic, man. He was like a real weirdo, but we all had a friend like that in New York. One of the things, by the way, another thing too, you mentioned the whole chop zone and all that before I get to my next topic. It's really hard to believe that we really went through that now. Like, I think back that you couldn't go to church during COVID hysteria and lunacy. Like, put the mask on. Like I said, it was the only prophylactic device. It was like the condom that got everybody pregnant. Like, everyone who wore a mask got sick, and yet everybody still believed in it, like the nuts. Right. But you could go and riot and burn down a building. And I don't know what happened. Like, there was a protective, like Avengers, like,
well, you
bubble.
You have to understand, the virus can read, okay? So if your sign said Black Lives Matter, you were safe. But if you were out there protesting, like shutting down the country, you were not safe. And there was actually a letter that CNN, I think they published something. They were a bunch of quote unquote experts that were like, well, we don't consider coronavirus a reason to stop protesting for social justice. But then it said this should not be interpreted as permission for any other protest. What? But this is, people fell in line with that and were like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, think about this. I was in New York for this. 96 rolls of toilet paper you needed for 15 days to slow the spread. I was the only one saying, if you need that much toilet paper in 2 weeks, you have a much bigger problem than COVID. Like, you have the cyclo thing, the cyclospory, whatever.
I was just thinking that. Maybe that was the cyclospora has been around longer than we know. You're right. 96 rolls, you got the parasite. You just didn't know it. I know it wasn't hip and cool to get the parasite back then, like the new media hysteria. But listen, I love segues. I want to get to a couple things in our last 5-10 minutes here. It's really important. You just kind of like segues are great, especially when they're unintentional. Cyclospora, it's serious. Like we get it. You don't want that. You don't want to be walking around like squeezing your legs together. Like, oh my God, that's embarrassing.
Jerry
it's hard and it
Nadler
hurts.
getting off the stage.
Yeah, take your electro. Yeah, Jerry, exactly. Maybe that was a cyclospora too. But I think we can all acknowledge the summer news season is not always the best. I mean, it's very cyclical. Everyone in news, you, me, I heard Megyn Kelly mention it and others, Sean Ryan and others like that, and Ben. The summer news season is just not great. Cable news and else. People are on vacation, and that's good. I want you to spend time with your family. It's fantastic. Like, it's not more important for me than the country to fall apart. Like, watch the show, screw your family kind of thing, whatever. That's not the way it works. But in the summer news season, you see stories like this. The cyclospore thing has been so over-dramatized. I looked it up in Florida. At one point, it was like 300 cases. Florida's got like 20 million plus people. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, can everybody go, I'm not eating salad ever again. Like, everybody relax. The only reason I bring it up now is I'm seeing this again with the shock gloves controversy. So ICBP DHS is looking at this glove, which delivers a mild electric shock. We have a little bit playing on VO from Blue Lives Matter here below. It delivers an electric shock. It's in most circumstances, the overwhelming majority of circumstances, it's relatively safe. You know what's not safe, though? A violent subject resisting police officers, beating the crap out of them, and then getting away and potentially committing another violent crime in the neighborhood. And oh my God, shock gloves, everything else. We already have a mechanism to deliver electricity to people. It's called a freaking taser. You may have missed it. It's been around forever. Like, this is such an op. It's so pathetic. Whether you love them or hate, I'm not making the case. I don't sell them. I'm just telling you, like, I get so tired of these bullshit ops and these fancy news headlines. They drive me freaking bananas.
Well, these people are addicted to outrage, especially the media. They have to find something to be mad about. So first it was, oh my gosh, ICE is killing people. Now it's, oh my gosh, ICE is shocking people. You know, what would you rather do? Well, obviously their goal is to abolish ICE. They want to get rid of the whole organization, the whole institution, the agency. They want to get rid of the whole thing and just give amnesty to all the 25, 35, 40 million people who are in the country illegally, which, by the way, when you add 25, 35, even if it's only, let's say, low side, 10 to 20 million people, when you add that many people to the demand side of a supply and demand equation, you're going to see costs go up. But please tell me more about how you're addressing affordability while doing that. But they want to find something to be upset about. So now they're going to say that the shock gloves are in some way inhumane or are overkill. Right. Like, they're less lethal. You're not shooting them. They're not going to die unless, unfortunately, maybe they have a heart problem, but there's no way to know. Here's an easy one. Don't come into the country illegally. And if you're apprehended by law enforcement, don't resist arrest. Because I've never been hit with a taser. I've never been, a subject of brutal police contact. That's because when I get pulled over in a traffic stop, I don't go crazy. When we got swatted and I had people pointing guns at me, I didn't kick the front door down. I didn't do anything. This is ridiculous. I would have got pumped full of freedom seeds.
Mother effort, right? Double barrel. That's an easy way to get killed.
Easy way.
Sean, like, you and I are pretty reasonable people. Like, I'm not suggesting to you there aren't mistakes. There aren't just grotesque violations of the law. There have been use of force cases. I don't defend anyone, cop, federal agent, other. If they violate their oath and shoot someone ever, like, don't be a dick about it. No one's saying that at all. I'm just saying, like, there is an easy way in 99.99 repeating decimal percentages of police-citizen interactions to not get tased or anything else. The answer is just comply. If there's a mistake, which happens a lot, there's civilian complaint review boards. There's a legal system. You can file a complaint with your local police department. Like, just comply for your safety. If the officer did something wrong, we'll figure it out. I want to get to one last thing before we go. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm not for or against these things. I'm just saying, like, the op part of it drives me so bananas. Shock, oh my God, electricity. We already use it. What's your answer? Okay, let's shoot them or beat the shit out of them with a nightstick? Like, impact weapons are your other. No, that's definitely better. That's definitely better. So stupid. I am getting a little tired. You're an activist. I saw you volunteering for the sheriff down there in Tennessee. I see he won his primary, right?
He won his primary. He won his general. He's going to be sworn in less than a month. Kenneth Barrett is so excited. So excited.
Show him, I saw you. I follow him on X, Sean, and knocking on. Again, he's an activist too, which I love. It's one of the reasons I brought him on board. He's a doer, not a talker. But I'm getting a little tired. I'm seeing this in the political papers and the news. You know, Republican folks running for office, like, oh my gosh, we don't have a message. Again, you don't have a message? Are you shitting me? Like, for real? Like, what about the borders? I put a little montage up in the beginning of the show. Borders effectively closed. 0 illegals admitted into the country for 13 straight months. Crime at rates we haven't seen since they started recording crime. Any one of these stories is a total game changer if it's a Democrat president. Third, manufacturing exploding in the United States. Exploding. You got electricians building data centers making $250,000 a year. Exploding. All of these, close borders, safe streets, we're building stuff again. Do we have to hand this to you on a silver platter? Like, that's your message, bro. Run with it.
You have a message. You just highlighted that the Republican side has a message. Where we are struggling is how to deliver that message. And I think that's the biggest issue, is that can we put that message forward in a way that excites people? It's one thing to, I get excited about the border, but I want to put it out there in such a way, like you do with your show, like I plan to do with mine, edutainment, right? Make it fun. Nobody wants to get beat over the head with statistics all day long. They matter. Data matters. It all matters. But we got to put it out there in such a way that it excites people. Because what we're running against is a bunch of folks right now who say everything's going to be free. Even though you played it earlier this week, Abdul Al-Sayed said it's not actually going to be free because you're going to pay more in taxes. So explain to me, I need somebody on the left to explain to me how if I'm going to pay more for something that it's also free at the same time. Usually free means I pay nothing. So if I'm paying more than what I'm currently paying, it clearly isn't free. It's actually more expensive, right? So that's the way numbers work. But we have a message. There are accomplishments as you just listed. The border is obviously the number one accomplishment, I think, of the administration thus far. Shrinking of the federal workforce. People say, oh, well, I thought jobs were a good thing. Well, not federal jobs. Go to the private industry, the private sector. All these you mentioned, the trades that are exploding. There's a demand now. Iowa is actually rolling out a workforce Pell program for people to learn useful skills, not gender studies. I always said, I made a joke. I said, if I was a sales team manager and hiring someone to sell a given product, and someone said, I got my degree in gender studies, I'm going to look at them and say, all right, cool. But how does that help you sell this thing? Now what you can do, since you told me that there's 6 different genders, is you could sell me on the idea. And if I don't believe you by the end of your pitch, you're not hired. Okay? That's it. If I don't believe there's 6 genders from a gender study major, you're not hired. So we have a demand now for trades because of the manufacturing boom in this country. You see these folks who aren't going to college, but they're going to trade schools. They're not coming out in massive debt. That's going to help the affordability issue for those folks. You have a shrinking of the federal workforce. You got the border, which is just about perfect. You do have deportations. I don't know where this op nonsense came from. That's not happening. Hundreds of thousands of people, 900,000, I think was the latest number, involuntarily deported. That's not counting the people who voluntarily left. And by the way, I don't care how you leave, just leave. That's fine. Go. Right?
Remember the bars in New York? You don't have to go, but you can't stay here.
Yeah, closing time, right? You don't have to go home.
It's closing time. You don't have to go home, which I don't care where you go. You just can't stay here.
It's about the delivery of the message, though, and it's because the Republican Party, the RNC, some of the super PACs, they have all this cash on hand, and I hear all about this cash on hand. And I want to see that invested properly. There are these huge, massive consulting firms. They go into these districts and they put the activists to shame. They shame them and say, what you care about isn't what's polling nationally. I dealt with these people on Long Island when I was in New York. They told us not to talk about education. I said, really? That's how Bruce Blakeman won in Nassau County. That's how so many people won in Suffolk County. It was education. We knew what matters. I say pay your activists. Reach out to these colleges. Hey, you want to door knock for $20 an hour for a couple hours a day? Those kids are going to get excited about things like that. Give them what they need. Give them a little bit of compensation. Bring them into the fold. Pay activists instead of these crazy consultants. Pay activists instead of these, influencers that you think they're going to help you online. Put this money to work in the real world. You can still do your mailers and your ads, but when we talk about the message, there are accomplishments. We just have to find a better delivery method. And I believe there's no better way. I mean, you could make a post on social media and get 1 million views, but you don't know who's real and who's not that saw that post. But I know for a fact, having done it, and I love doing it, when I knock on someone's door and I have that conversation with that voter, I know that's a real person. I know I'm making ground. I know I'm making headway with that person. And that's where I want to see the investments made. I want to see it made in genuine organic outreach so we could actually spread this message that we're talking about now to people who are going to be voting in the midterms. I think that'll make a big difference, and it'll change a few things ahead of the 2026 midterms, I think, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I got to run, but door knocking, if you don't think it matters, you're absolutely out of your mind. I mean, we almost pulled off one of the biggest congressional upsets of all time with almost no money, just purely by knocking on doors. I knocked on 5,500 myself. My team knocked on 55,000 doors. We came within 1 point of a huge upset. It matters. And I'm telling you, it was a door knocking. It certainly wasn't the money. Sean, we're really excited about the launch on Monday. If you want to follow him on all platforms, I have an easy place to go, Bongino.com/Sean, SHAWN. You can follow him on Apple, on Spotify, on Rumble, where he's live, rumble.com/Sean. 1 p.m. Eastern this Monday. We're really excited about the launch of his show. He deserves it. He earned it. He's been true MAGA from the start. Sean, thanks for spending some time with us today. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks for the opportunity. Looking forward to some big things starting Monday, August 17th. Hope to see everybody else there.
Me too. Thanks, Sean. You know, folks, as I said about our friend Michael, who won his primary, Michael Alfonso, Republican primary for Congress, folks, big people do big things, and that's you. You know what little people do? Little people talk about big people who do big things. Sean worked his ass off. He did a big thing. So did Michael. So congrats to both. I wanted to give a better thing for Michael, but we had the quantum computer thing, right? Incident. Stop talking about it. We'll call it the goofy glue incident. Guy knows what that means. Justin, Andy doesn't know you. Do you know Andy? You know, Justin, explain to him the goofy glue incident. Maybe Jim can give him a Kirk Cameron, remember when he came on the show to actually talk about the goofy glue? Yes. You got to read the book too about the goofy glue. Yes, correct. Folks, don't miss Haley coming up at noon, rumble.com/Haley, another great member of the Bongino Report family. And Vince every day, the king of morning podcasting at 8 a.m. Eastern time, rumble.com/Vince. Be sure to download the Rumble app. It is free. You can watch Sean, you can watch Vince, Haley, me. It's absolutely free. Download it on your smart TV too. You can watch it on your TV. If you want to go to the web, that's cool. Rumble.com/Bongino. Click that follow button. Get us close to 4 million followers soon. We really appreciate it. I will see you back here on Monday.
Hey there, I'm Vince.
I'm Haley Carania.
I'm Sean Farish,
Host of Vince.
Host of Scrolling with Haley.
host of Sean Farish Live.
You can always catch my show right here
Right here
on the Bongino Report channel.
live, 8 a.m. Eastern, weekday mornings.
Noon weekdays.
1 p.m. Eastern time.
And if you miss it, no worries. The show will always be
Right here.
and anywhere you find a podcast. Thanks for watching.
And thank you for your attention to this matter.